Okay, here we are with another Becoming a Modern Man. This time we are playing a Merfolk deck. You can see the list here. Got a Lords here, Phantasmal Image, Silver Gill Adept, some Mana Leaks. A lot of the Merfolk decks are cutting the counters, but decided to keep in some Mana Leaks. Quite like being a counter deck rather than an all-in aggressive tribal deck. Spreading Seas, some cards, also makes Island Walk more relevant against decks that aren't already playing blue, which means that most of your creatures will be unblockable when you've got a Master of Pearl Trident or Lord of Atlantis in play. Maybe snags a nice tempo card to bounce their creatures, set them back a bit. Vial, obviously very good, means you can keep up mana or do other things with your mana, such as play Spreading Seas, etc., while dropping in creatures. Curse Catcher's your general one-drop, pretty good, able to counter removal, etc. Got 4 Move Vaults, which we just picked up. That's the reason we've been waiting out on playing Merfolk. Had most of the creatures for a while, but Move Vault was always very expensive until now, thanks to the M14 reprint. So it's pretty cool. Sideboard, got some more counter spells. Kira, Great Glass Spinner, which is a pretty nice one against removal heavy decks. Makes it very difficult to get rid of your Merfolk, apart from a Wrath effect maybe, and yeah, just a couple of more artifacts here that hate out certain strategies. So let's get to the match. Here is our opener. A couple of islands. Here I'll drop on turn 1. Then we've got Depth we can probably play on turn 2, revealing the Lord. And then we can start Spreading Seas while dropping in creatures with a Vial, which seems pretty decent. One leads off with the Steam Vents. I'm going to lead off with the Vial, as we mentioned. Vent doesn't do anything. Draw into a Master of the Pearl Trident. Go for the Spreading Seas here. Maybe it would have been better to go for the Silver Gill Adept, but either way it looks like we were going to get hit by a Remand there. Thought it might be good to get him off res, but didn't quite work out there. He plays another Steam Vents and plays with Dalkin Shackles, which is definitely not what we wanted to see. Very awkward cards to play around, and he's got a lot of islands, so I mean my initial strategy is, when I'm thinking about it, is to try and get all my Merfolk to have power greater than the number of islands he has, because we have got 2 Lords, but it's going to be difficult currently because we're not going to be able to play out all our Lords in one go, and obviously we don't want our Lords to be stolen. So I had to go with Curse Catcher, Spreading Seas, then I'm going to drop in Silver Gill Adept and kind of see where we go from there. I wasn't really sure what to do. I don't know what the best line of play would be here. I was very concerned about him stealing my Lords. Though the thing about Lord of Atlantis is that it pumps both sides, so maybe that's not so bad to get stolen. And I think that's why I play it out a little bit later, maybe even on this turn. So I go to attacks, he plays Silver Gill Adept. I'm going to play a Lord of Atlantis out. He's going to try and bolt it. I'm going to Vapor Snag it back to my hand, and I can play it out with the Vial at the end of my turn. So yeah, my main plan here is that even though he might want to steal the Lord of Atlantis, it's not actually going to make any difference because my Merfolk get pumped either way, and they're going to have Island Walk, so it means I can run over him. Delvir's going to make that a little bit more difficult if he can actually race me, because obviously he'll have some creatures of his own, but draw another Master of the Pearl Trident, which is pretty awesome. Now we're just in a stage where we can probably outrace the Shackles, as he's not going to be able to block, and that's kind of one of the big advantages of Shackles, is being able to steal your opponent's creature and then trade them off with each other. So he steals the Curse Catcher weirdly. Kind of made me worried about some sort of removal or something, because I don't know why you would steal the Curse Catcher over maybe the Master of Pearl Trident or something, as the Master only affects creatures that you control, so that would make my creatures a little bit weaker. I do have another one, and I think I'm just going to run it out here. I mean, you could get blown out by some sort of wrath effect or something. I suppose he doesn't really have wrath effects available. Maybe like some sort of pyroclasm effect or something, I don't really know. But yeah, it seemed like it would be difficult for him to deal with this situation, and decided to run with it. Gives me back my curse catcher, and yeah, he concedes. So yeah, we pretty much had him there, I think. It's very difficult to remove any of my creatures now with bolts, etc. Now that they're all 4/4s, and yeah, Shackles doesn't do enough, and the unblockability is just too good. So I was quite worried when he dropped that Shackles, but managed to figure out a strategy that won through there, even if we kind of fell backwards into it a little bit. So yeah, on to game 2. Get our hand up. So here's our open. Slightly awkward, seems though we can't actually cast Lord of Atlantis or Master of the Pearl Trident with this hand, but we don't have those in our hand anyway, so we can play Merfolk. We've got Curse Catcher for turn 1, got some counters, so I think we can run with this, see how it goes. Master of the Pearl Trident, which we can't cast, so that's a little bit annoying. As I said, one of the risks of keeping our hand. I'm going to play the Ghost Quarter, which I don't like too much, considering he can kill our Mutavault, but I suppose he's probably not going to want to go down to one land there. I didn't know what to do there in this stage. He's not really got anything going on, so I didn't really want to run out my creatures into counters. So I decided to activate Mutavault and attack and just put some pressure on him without actually having to play any spells. Fortunately he has a Snapcaster which trades with our Mutavault, which isn't the ideal situation for us. Maybe should have just got aggressive there. I'm going to attack and I'm going to pass. Again, I think we probably should have got aggressive, seeing as though he's stuck on 2 lands. I'm going to play Master Pearl Trident, Mana Leak, and we can't really lose out there because if he had a Dispel we could just sack our Curse Catcher. Wouldn't be the ideal situation, but we would be able to protect our Master of the Pearl Trident. I'm going to search up Esteem Vents. Fire Sparks away our board, which isn't really all that devastating. I should have sacked my Curse Catcher to make him tap down this one. I don't think he has any 1 mana spells anyway, so it didn't make a difference, but would have been better to do that. You know, invite him to make a mistake, I guess. So we can actually play Regery and Master of the Pearl Trident here, giving us 2 3/3s, and we've got Spell Pierce, so unless he draws a land, he's not going to be able to Fire Spout again. I mean, if he does Fire Spout again with backup, then not in a great position, but I guess that's just how it goes. So he drops Engineered Explosives. I could have played Spell Pierce on it just to keep my Master alive, because it costs 2 to sack the Engineered Explosives, so he wouldn't be able to activate it next turn, and we could attack for 3, 6, 10, bring him down to 4. But I think just generally we're not that concerned about Master of the Pearl Trident. I mean, we can play a Merfolk and attack with Mutavault next turn, and that would be 8 damage. So I don't know. It only gets one creature, so I wasn't that worried about it. If I play Merfolk, looking to untap the Master, he tries to Mana Leak it, which gives us the opportunity to use our Spell Pierce, and yeah, that's the game. He wasn't just dead then, or was he? 4, 8 plus 5, so he 1 point away from death, I think. Yeah, he was fairly close to being dead either way, so yeah, our opponent conceded. Looks like he was running low on gas either way, so yeah, managed to win that one out. And yeah, good match against the sort of blue-red control deck by the looks of it.